Hey friends! Well, our week has certainly kicked off with quite a bang, but that was to be expected, especially considering how the stock market closed last week. On Friday, we experienced a massive influx of activity, and in our last review, we came together to discuss whether Bitcoin is truly a protective asset that will rise against the entire market, even outperforming gold, or if we are witnessing some kind of delayed effect. We considered various factors and perspectives to understand the situation better. In fact, this morning we realized and clearly understood that it was a delayed effect because Bitcoin touched the $75,000 zone, reaching a significant milestone. For some, this is a stop. For others, it's liquidation, and for some, it's a buying opportunity. For example, I'm buying. I even posted some of my orders on my Telegram channel. So today, friends, we're figuring out what's happening, what to expect from Bitcoin, what to expect from the stock market, and what to expect from the trade wars that are in full swing. Let's move on to the charts. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up, and also, friends, I strongly advise subscribing to my Telegram channel so you don't miss any important information or news. The link to the Telegram channel is right below the video. Here is my Telegram channel. Join us. But now let's get down to business. So, let's start from the beginning. So, where did we leave off? Last week on the S&P 500, let's start with that, which is the most interesting. At the time of the last review, it was at 500. It fell approximately a year ago. This is the zone of 5,100, and honestly, I couldn't even imagine that with the next candle, we would find ourselves at the 4,800 mark. It was quite surprising to see such a significant drop in such a short period. Actually, we have quite literally reached the next important level in our analysis. Please take a look at this. We have a significant volume level here, and just below that, we have the weekly 200-period moving average. Accordingly, this 500 is falling. What's interesting is that the US market hasn't even opened yet. Things could get even worse once it does. Why will we talk with you? Accordingly, Bitcoin is also falling from some interesting points, and for me personally, there were a few key levels to watch. Do you remember where I had planned to make a purchase in the $73,000 to $74,000 range and also in the $63,000 range respectively? I consider anything between these two levels to be the most profitable buys for me. There was also zone 79, approximately 78 to 79, the lower boundary of the purple box. We passed by without even noticing it. The market was just flowing. Here's an important point. Often when we see a level and want to buy, the question arises, when is the right time to make the purchase? For example, if red candles are forming and the market is just dropping, can we buy or not? I always use one simple strategy, the trend break. Let's say we all look at a small time frame. We just have the structure. This is how it falls on small candles, and on a larger time frame, it looks just like one red candle. So when will we be able to buy? Let's say we reached our level of $63,000, but we continue to fall. Is it possible to buy back or not? For me personally, the most important thing to consider is the trend break level. If the structure undergoes a change and breaks the trend, that's the moment when you can take a position on the higher time frame. It might look like just one candle and a shadow left on smaller time frames. But we will always see a similar structure. When we break from consolidation above the level, we can start opening positions, such as long positions. The same approach applies to shorts. Let's say we have an upward structure. We come to a resistance level, and we think about opening or not. Only when we have a trend break, that's when we can open a position, not just catching falling knives. As they say, because that never leads to anything good. Accordingly, I did not open positions 78 and 79. Instead, I began opening positions this morning with a total of 22 orders executed in zone 76 and the $75,000 zone. If we go lower, I will buy everything below that point. I will accordingly buy out all available assets, I remind you, for my own portfolio. The optimistic ideal scenario is one where Bitcoin goes a bit lower. Specifically, I am looking at the $63,000 zone as a key level for this strategy. And then from here, we will see accordingly. Whether the next stage of development will happen or not, I don't know. But this is the ideal scenario I have in my head. And currently, the markets are falling. Therefore, there is a probability that we will continue to fall, at least locally. As for local positions, let's talk about that. Guys, before that, a small traditional reminder. If you trade, always trade on a quality exchange. For me, a reliable partner for many years has been the Bybit exchange. If you do not have a Bybit account, I strongly recommend registering with my link and promo code below for the best commission rates and up to $30,000 in first deposit bonuses. If you register through the mobile app, use promo code 24676. This is not financial advice. I just like this product myself. I've been actively trading on it for many years now. So if you haven't tried it, give it a shot. You might like it, you might not. Plus, friends, not so long ago, we started developing our crypto ecosystem. Accordingly, it has now evolved into a community and trading chat where position setups appear on a daily basis. No spam, no clutter, exclusively a working atmosphere. If you're still not with us, make sure to join via the first link under the video. Trading chat and community, but we will take it even further. So from a position perspective, the 73 to 74 zone is a good long zone. If you're opening a long position and it's spot, then keep in mind that it makes sense to continue averaging. If it happens to be a futures position, we will set a stop, and our target price point will be $83,500. Why so close? Why not 90, not 95? The issue at hand is that while we were going down, we formed various volume levels, and now we have a significant amount of resistance above us. For example, the next level is $83,500, where volumes will meet us, and when we get there, we will have a struggle, and we could easily go further into correction. After that, besides the volume level, we have this low, the 85,600 zone. In addition, the 200-day moving average will accordingly make this entire area a powerful resistance zone for us. And what's very important to show here, friends, is that when we were struggling in this range and Bitcoin bounced back after the drop and tried to grow, we had a significant struggle to break the structure and turn it from a short position to a long position again. But what happened to us today? After updating the local low, we have observed that our short structure is now descending. Notice each high is lower than the previous one. Each low is lower than the previous one. This structure was confirmed, and we subsequently updated the low point here, resulting in a perfect descending structure. We can only say that the cycle continues and that we continue to grow after Bitcoin surpasses the 200-day moving average once again and breaks the trend upwards here, signaling further growth. Accordingly, until this happens, until we are able to consolidate above the 878 level, we remain in a downtrend. Given this situation, I will say that we are most likely to experience a further decline. Therefore, I will prepare to buy at lower levels when the opportunity arises. So, Bitcoin, this is, in my opinion, a very important point. Who finds this useful, guys? Be sure to write about it in the comments. Another important addition. Look, today, making purchases, friends, I always keep two scenarios in mind. The ideal scenario is where we came to the $60,000 to $3,000 zone, and after that, our upward movement continued. However, when making purchases today at the price range of 75 to 76, I take into consideration another important point, that each time Bitcoin in its previous cycles corrected by approximately 70% after reaching its new all-time high. And if by chance this scenario happens to repeat itself this time around and Bitcoin experiences a significant drop of about 70%, then we could potentially find ourselves in the $30,000 to $40,000 range. And so today, making purchases in the range of 75 to 76,000, I ask myself, how will I feel if Bitcoin goes straight to the $30,000 zone? Will I definitely survive? Will I definitely be able to sit out 2 years of some correction? Even in a bear market, will I definitely feel comfortable enough to make purchases at a volume that is comfortable for me? And this, friends, is very important. So when deciding, use your own judgment. Follow the rules and everything will be fine for you. Let's take a moment to summarize Bitcoin and then we can move on to discussing trade wars. The key level is the $73,000 to $74,000 zone. We have actually already reached it and opened positions below. This zone is $63,000. In the middle, there is an intermediate level. This structure, this zone is $68,000. All this represents a long level for me up to $63 to $1,000. Now let's move on to trade wars. Look, friends, what happened to us. First, we have trade wars in full swing. Today, April 7th, we, in fact, kind of potentially expect retaliatory tariffs from the European Union to be announced. Then on Wednesday, April 9th, tariffs for China, the European Union, India, Japan, and Korea will come into effect. But this isn't the most interesting part. The most interesting part is what happens next. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we are currently waiting for retaliatory sanctions directed towards the United States from countries such as Canada, Mexico, India, Japan, and China. And how this will affect the markets, we cannot predict. We're waiting for the American stock market to open today, and I assume things could get intense. Yes, not so great, and everything around here is very red. Maybe that's why we're getting ready, guys. Adjustments may be made. In the previous issue, I discussed how a long-term plan might be potentially brilliant, but locally, we have many reasons to believe that the markets will decline. The stock market, cryptos, and everything else. Final comment. A few weeks ago, when filming episodes stating Ether would interest me only in the $1,200 to $1,600 range, it seemed absurd as both Bitcoin and Ether were worth about $2,000. Accordingly, now that we are in the $1,500 zone for Ethereum, this is already a reality. So now this particular zone has become quite interesting to me. here in the long term, I will potentially make purchases. Keep in mind, some of you might find this useful and interesting. If you found this helpful and aren't subscribed yet, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments. If unsure what to write, leave any comment to show support. This is very important to me. See you next time. Wishing you big profits. Bye for now.